back, everybody.
To a brand new episode of...
Hello.
You got it right
That
this
shit
time.
is good. Hello, I'm listening. That's the episode,
That's the podcast.
the podcast, with a brand new episode of that podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. How are you doing? You seem, I don't know, a little off today.
I seem off.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're the one who has been cranky, even though you're,
How am I cranky?
I don't know, you're running around.
I'm not running around. I've been doing nothing all day.
I don't know. I'm going to ask you something like, "Ugh." I'm like, whoa, hey.
Nah. I knew you were going to think that I snapped at you, but in reality,
I
I
didn't
just
say
didn't
that.
respond.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that you snapped at me.
I wasn't very responsive, but I was in the middle of doing something when you asked me.
Yeah.
When I was in the middle of a thought, actually typing stuff out for this episode, and you came in the room and were like throwing a bunch of information at me.
I was just asking in terms of food.
Nah, you talked about the painting thing that we have to do, and you talked about like when we should do it, and it was too much overload in the moment.
Okay.
But see, that's good. That's what it's like when I ask you something when you're busy and get radio silence.
Yeah.
So
Especially if it's you asking. Yeah.
But you didn't answer my question. You deflected.
I'm fine.
I mean, even yesterday you seemed a little off, so I feel a little like I have to walk on eggshells.
I've not been sleeping well, you know that. And I was working from 6 to now. And right now there's some planning again in terms of like house stuff and calling people and, you know.
Yeah.
And I also told you, I think yesterday, that, I've been feeling anxious a little bit lately, and there are a lot of things that contribute to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I seem off, then I'm not really off, but there are things happening.
It's okay to be off, though. It's not a bad thing.
I know it's okay. How are you doing?
I don't know. I'm having a weird day.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I know there are some like health anxiety stuff, I guess, if you can put it in that category.
Yeah.
And I don't know, somehow anxious, but not specific to that, just in general feeling kind of anxious today.
In terms of, you're doing better in terms of your pain and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very confusing for people who are listening and don't know. I'm fine. I'm fine. We'll leave it at that. I'm fine. But, yeah. Just a little, I don't know, a little down, I guess, today. But it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it'll be good to go back to work next week. I'm glad I took this week off, but I'm excited to go back to work because then I have a little more routine again. And I think when I'm too long out of routine, I start to fall into, I don't know, anxiety or bouts of depression and things like that. Nobody needs that. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm okay.
That's good.
It was actually fun thinking about today, when this is our topic for the day. Our topic is talking about shows and movies that we enjoyed in 2022. And it was actually fun looking back at some, because there were some that I forgot that I watched, or at least if I would have, just sat down without the internet, I would have maybe forgotten to write them down.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually kind of fun looking back. So
yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, it's funny because when the the award season is happening. So basically now with the Golden Globes and the Oscars and all the other awards, you tend to forget usually in the last leg of the year the award movies are getting screened or are getting
well, and they announce which ones are probably going to be up for Oscars, and so you
but
tend to watch those ones.
No, what I'm saying is that usually, typically, at the beginning of the year, the award movies or the movies that are considered being, like Oscar nominated, are not in the beginning of the year. Percentage-wise, it's mostly in the end of the year, and it makes sense. But with the amount of good movies that are coming out at the end of the year, you kind of forget about the movies that came out at the beginning of the year.
See, when I was making my list, I didn't pay attention to when they came out.
No, obviously not. Sure, but
I just kept it limited to things that came out in 2022.
Yeah, that's what you said.
There were probably a lot of things that I watched that were from other times, not from last year. So like not new last year, but maybe new to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not include those in my list. I decided to stick with what's actually new that we watched.
Yeah.
And at the end of this episode, I think we talked about this. We will just do another little quick, maybe 10-minute who we are.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing, just for anybody who's new here. Welcome to the podcast. And
what are you doing here? God damn it! Get out.
We technically do have a full episode or 2 episodes, I think, about who we are. But that was when we were translating love, and that was like our first
nobody listens
episodes.
To this. Yeah.
So we thought we would just do a little refresher introduction. So if you've been here a while, feel free to turn us off after we're done talking about the topic. But you're welcome to listen. Maybe there's some silly shenanigans.
Also, I kind of forgot, at the one episode, the last one of 2022. Where we talked about gratitude and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All the shit, I also wanted to say that I'm very grateful for all the people. I mean, obviously, but I kind of want to say that again because I'm very grateful for all the people who keep listening, obviously.
Didn't we say that?
Not specifically, no.
Oh, I'm sorry, listeners.
I mean, the thing is we say it once in a while during, an episode, but I just wanted to say thank you for listening and thank you for sticking with us, and maybe also thank you for, subscribing, rating, reviewing the podcast on Apple Podcast, and also if you are, sharing the podcast, that's like one of the biggest things you can do.
Yeah.
And obviously, Joe, our Patreon, single
you,
Patreon
Joe.
right now still. If you want to head over to our Patreon, then check out. You can support us there. And you get a shout out or even a shirt. Depends how much you pay. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the episode.
So I devised my list. I have a list of movies and a list of series. And I thought it would be best not to jump around. So maybe we start with series or movies.
We start with movies.
We start with movies.
Yeah.
Okay. And I thought we could just maybe do a little back and forth of...
Let's start with movies.
But I meant between the two of us. We could do a little back and forth.
Sure.
Do you want to start? Do you have one right away, or should I start?
Sure. The thing is, we watched a lot of movies.
We did. We always do.
And
it's hard to pick.
The thing is, I can't say this one movie was my favorite. I can't really say that. But
I can say that for a series, but I can't say that for
one
a
of
movie.
the best movies last year was definitely for me Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I wrote that as well. If you'd like, I can read the little tiny synopsis. A Chinese immigrant gets unwillingly embroiled in an epic adventure where she must connect different versions of herself in the parallel universe to stop someone who intends to harm the multiverse.
Yep.
Now, from the description, it almost sounds like it's Marvel comic
I mean, not
kind
really.
of thing.
Only because they started the multiverse at the same time, kind of.
But it's definitely not that.
It's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a weird mixture between martial arts, action,
Fantasy.
sci-fi, not fantasy, sci-fi.
I would say fantasy.
It's sci-fi.
I think it can be both.
No. And drama, family drama.
You know, these are discussions, not I'm right, you're wrong.
No, you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
No, but at the core of the movie is a family drama, and it's about understanding each other and trying to connect, even though you might are different. You know, you might group like it's basically about a daughter-mother relationship. That's the core of it.
Yeah. That's one of those movies, though, when we talk about it, I don't want to give away too much.
No.
Because it's so good and it's so...
Yeah.
It's really... It's quite a ride, that movie.
Yep.
And it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
I think one of the... It's hard, like you said, it's hard to pick a favorite, but that's definitely one of the most noteworthy movies that we watched, for sure.
Yeah.
Mine are in no particular order. It's just ones that stood out to me in the year. So I'm going to start with a horror movie, which it's very hard to scare me nowadays because I watch so many horror movies.
Smile.
But this one...
Smile, yeah.
Oh
was a good
my
horror
God,
movie.
Smile.
Probably the best horror movie of last year. Yeah.
I'll just read the thing. After witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good synopsis because it doesn't give too much away. The movie's fucking creepy. It's so creepy, but it's so simple. And that's, I think, what I love about it, because the fact that somebody can take such a simple concept as a person smiling and make it one of the scariest things.
Yeah.
It's so well done. And I think it's just, I thought it was phenomenal. It definitely gave me a scare.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's definitely a good movie. It's not, I mean, it's a horror movie, so it's the story itself is not super deep.
But it wasn't a bad story.
No,
though.
it's not. I mean, the thing is, it's a mixture between things you've seen before.
Yeah.
But the execution and just the premise of it is so fucking well done.
Yeah.
That you keep just... I mean, I've been looking through my hands multiple times because it's so fucking creepy and you just don't want to see all of it away.
It's a rare moment for me when I have to look away when I'm watching a horror movie, and I had to do that multiple times. There were moments where I was like, I can't fucking look at that anymore. It's so creepy. It's very good.
Yeah. Another one that might be a little... I mean, obviously Top Gun Maverick is a highly entertaining
Would you put
blockbuster
that in
movie.
your, like...
I wouldn't put it in my top list, but I would point it out as a very entertaining movie simply because how it was shot.
Yeah.
That movie just, like, especially watching it on a big screen, that movie just puts you right into the couch or seat. It's so fucking thrilling. And sure, the story is super basic and...
I mean, the story is what you would expect.
But
for
there are
Top
some
Gun.
very sweet moments in there, especially with Val Kilmer and his character. And it's just, I mean, it's a better sequel than the first movie. The first movie is okay, but the sequel is much better in terms of execution and still keeps the original essence of the series. It's a great movie. I wouldn't I wouldn't put it in my top list, but it's a very entertaining movie.
Yeah.
But another movie that falls into the drama category and also based on real life was 13 Lives. You haven't watched that one. I've watched it alone. It's on Amazon Prime. It came out on Amazon Prime. I think it was in the movie theater for a week or something to, be eligible for the Oscars. And it's about the incident of the cave flooding in, I think, Thailand, where a soccer team and the coach were basically trapped in a system of underground caves. And it flooded, and so they had to fly in a lot of very smart people to get them out. And that movie, I think I didn't pick up my phone maybe once, if even. That movie is so fucking good. The story is so incredible, and the thing is, I knew about the story. I followed it a little bit back when it was actually happening, but I did not know how they got them actually out.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing how they did that was fucking mind-blowing. And that movie is definitely a must-see in my opinion, because it's so well executed, and Viggo Mortensen. I mean,
he's brilliant.
He's always good. So if you have not seen it and you don't know what to watch, go on Prime and watch it.
Okay, let's stick with if we're gonna, I think I only have one more horror movie, if you can call it that. I would say more it's a thriller. But the movie Nope, Jordan Peele.
It's not a top movie for me.
You know, it's
beautiful shot.
It's one of those movies that I don't know that I would put it in like top like favorites, but it stuck out to me this year for sure. So that's why I put it on my list, because I very much enjoyed it. I love Jordan Peele. I love his style. I love his storytelling. But what I really love about him is his characters, because I think he does a really good job of creating characters that you like. You know what I mean? You're fidgeting.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But the and
I also like creature features, and it's kind of a creature feature.
It is a creature feature, but I don't want to go much into the movie. But a lot of critics said the same things, and the first half of the movie is brilliant, and the second half tanks a little bit.
I think tanks is over exaggerated.
I think the first half is so fucking brilliantly done, but the story, because you don't know anything, you know, it's all about the anticipation. It's all about, ooh, I want to see it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
It's like Cloverfield, where you have no fucking idea what's really happening, and then once you see it, all the magic is gone. I'm not saying
I wouldn't say all the magic is gone.
Most of it, though. Most of it is
for
gone.
you.
Yeah, but it's a great movie to watch it once alone for the images. I mean, what he puts on the screen, it's insane. It's something, you can recommend, definitely. But not on my top list. The Banshees of Inisherin.
Mm-hmm.
That was a movie that just came out. I think it's not even it's in the cinemas here now. But that movie is so good. I love that movie.
I also loved that movie. However, I don't like that it was advertised as a comedy. I think that there are funny moments in the sense that it's so bonkers.
I mean, it's a black comedy, if you call it that, but
I wouldn't even call it that.
It's a drama with black comedy
It's a drama,
elements.
and there are some kind of weird comedic moments. I loved
black
it.
comedy.
But I was not. No, black comedy to me is, it's still, you're watching it and you're thinking, oh, this is funny.
Yeah, but it is funny. When he cuts his first finger off.
It's sad. It's heartbreaking.
But it's funny too, because it's so fucking ridiculous, and that's what black comedy is.
But that's what I said. There are aspects, but I don't think the whole movie can be considered black comedy. I think it is.
It's a drama with comedic elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good, and it's beautifully shot, and it's wonderfully acted, but it's also very tragic.
Yep.
And heartbreaking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's a good movie, though.
It is a good movie. One movie that I very much enjoyed this year was Bullet Train.
Yeah, I mean, it's a popcorn movie. It's a fun movie.
I swear, every movie I say, like, yeah, I don't know.
The thing is,
even though when we watched it, you were raving about it.
I mean, the thing is,
and you
I love that
considered
movie.
seeing it a second time.
Yeah, no, I would. It's on Netflix. I would totally watch it again. It's a fun fucking movie, but it's an action movie.
Wait, I read the synopsis. Ladybug, which is Brad Pitt, is an unlucky assassin who's determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs has gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans, as his latest mission puts lethal adversaries from around the globe all with connected yet conflicting objectives on the world's fastest train. So it all takes place on this bullet train. And I just feel like before we watched it, I was like, how can that be compelling? It's really hard, I think, to create a story that's in one setting for an entire movie and make it exciting the whole way through, or make it watchable the whole way through, where you're still entertained. And I loved every second of it.
There are multiple movies that are set on planes or trains.
Yes, multiple, but I'm saying it's hard. I'm not saying it's not something that you can do easily.
I don't know. The thing is, since Bullet Train has so much exposition in terms of backflashes and backstories, it's not technically all set on the train all the time. And since there are so many characters, it's basically 4 of 3 characters simultaneously telling a story. We see simultaneously their story unfolding. So you jump around, and their characters are written so well in terms of how they act and how they're funny and weird that you're just super entertained, and it doesn't get boring. But I've heard from multiple people that they didn't like it because it lacked depth. It's
an action movie. It doesn't need so much
lacked
depth.
Story, and that's why I'm saying I wouldn't put it in my top list of movies of 2022. If you want to be entertained, like I said with with Top Gun,
it's better than Top Gun.
No, I agree. It's in my opinion, it's also better because I love Brad Pitt so much, and also it's way funnier than Top Gun. But it's in the same league, essentially. If you want to be entertained and you don't want to think about anything, then watch it. It's a fucking fun movie. But in that category would also fall Violent Night. And that movie just fucking kicked my ass because I did not think that it was so fucking funny and well done. Even though it's not a great movie, but it's a fucking cool Christmas Die Hard-ish movie where Santa is David Harbour and he fucking kills people the most brutal way because he's just fucking pissed, and it's so funny. Also, you didn't mention Barbarian as a horror movie, and I feel like that was better than Smile. Simply because the story was better.
See,
alone,
the story was better, but the scare was not.
I agree. Smile was way creepier, even though Barbarian was creepy.
When I'm watching a horror movie, I want to be scared, and Smile scared the shit out of me.
But Barbarian was so well done, and I think what made it better to me was Justin Long's character.
He was great.
When he got back to his Airbnb and just measured all the shit to sell it at the most valuable price, and then he found this secret tunnel and he kept measuring it and adding it to the list. For those who
don't know, Barbarian is basically a story of an Airbnb, and someone is staying in this Airbnb, and someone else shows up at the same Airbnb, and it somehow got double booked. And the guy ends up inviting the girl in and says, hey, you can just stay here anyways, it's fine, we'll work it out. And so it's like an awkward at the beginning, and then they discover this tunnel, and there's all of these elements.
There's a lot of going up because at first the thing is you have no fucking clue where that movie goes.
Yeah.
No clue. And you don't have a clue until like the third act, I think. And that's what makes it so compelling to me, because there are a lot of funny things in it, but there are also a lot of very creepy things.
But there are also moments, I have to say, this is the downside of that movie for me. What kind of killed it, and I don't want to give too much away, but what killed it is when you find out what it is that's happening.
Sure. I mean, it's a horror movie.
That itself was fine.
It's a horror movie. It's not super deep
the
or anything.
Execution, I feel like, for the big, this is what it is.
I like that.
No, when she talks.
Oh, I like
it.
That.
Made me laugh.
Yeah,
like, I'm like, this is not scary anymore.
The movie was funny. That movie was funny in itself.
That part should not be funny. That part should be, you're fucking creeped out by this. And I wasn't anymore.
Creepy when she fucking runs after them and then she breaks.
Sure, that. But I'm talking about when she talks.
Yeah. But I still like that because it kept just it was realistic to an extent. I don't know.
Well.
Barbarian stood out to me as a great horror movie. It was
great.
If you want to add it to that list of horror movies. But I have two more movies that I want to bring up. One is Pinocchio from Guillermo del Toro, not the fucking Disney version that nobody cares about. I love stop motion. I love hand animated stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love first of all, the craft that goes into it, and also the sheer amount of work of putting into, creating all the characters by hand in various sizes, then creating all the sets, and then putting it all together on the screen with brilliant voice actors. And Guillermo del Toro just fucking outdid himself. And that movie made me
always
cry.
does, though. He does a great job
That
every
movie
time.
brought so much emotion to that story that most of us know. And it was such a great movie.
Yeah.
I cannot stress it enough. If you like stop motion animation or animation channel, just watch Pinocchio. It's on Netflix. And the other one is, then I'm done, then you can finish it, is Michelle the Shell.
Oh, yeah. Marcel.
Marcel.
Marcel the
It's
Shell.
called Marcel the Shell.
That was lovely.
It's, where do I have it? There. Marcel the Shell with shoes on. It's essentially a YouTube series. So a YouTube guy or a filmmaker posted 3 little YouTube shorts with, what's her name?
Money, please.
Yeah, Jenny Slate. With the brilliant Jenny Slate. And she voiced this little hand-made shell with ice and shoes. And A24 turned it into a movie.
And it's beautiful. And
it's
sweet.
Such a sweet movie. And it's self-aware. So it's basically in the movie, they know that they posted those videos and that she's famous. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a very sweet movie. And yeah.
I have a couple more, but I don't want to go into too much detail on them. Just quickly.
I'd just say yes or no.
Because I liked them.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, going with the Christmas vibe, was Spirited.
Oh, yeah.
With Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. It's basically a Christmas carol, Charles Dickens, but
That's
a musical
and
funny and
there's a twist on
what
it.
you would expect of those two, and it's great. So not like, wow, this is a brilliant movie, but just a fun Christmas movie, and I really enjoyed it. Another one is Glass Onion, the second Knives Out. I really enjoyed it. It was hard for me to decide if I liked that one better than the first one. I think I liked the first one better, but not by much. It's a good whodunit, and I love a good whodunit. Wait, there was 2 more. Yes. The Adam Project. I think you'll disagree, but I very much enjoyed it.
That movie was, I don't know.
Also Ryan Reynolds, he's a time
Sean
traveling
Levy
pilot.
directed it, yeah.
And he accidentally crash lands in 2022 where his 12-year-old self is, and him and his 12-year-old self have to save the future, basically.
I have a lot of problems with that movie, but I agree that it has some very sweet and cool moments, and it's definitely something
It's
you could
entertaining.
watch.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And this one, I don't know where to put it in my list of movies, but I very, very much enjoyed it. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And I'm surprised you didn't say it.
I just wanted to bring it up. I mean, in fact, there's this one and there's one other movie that I want to bring up, but Unbearable Weight, yeah. The thing is, see, if you like Nick Cage, then watch it. If you have not seen it, you like Nick Cage, watch the movie. It's fucking brilliant if you like Nick Cage. If you don't like Nick Cage, don't watch it.
Nick Cage doesn't take himself seriously, and in the movie he plays himself who takes himself way too seriously, and it's so funny.
A great movie.
It's so funny and so good. I loved it.
Great cast and fun story. But one that I didn't mention yet and I wanted to mention was All Quiet on the Western Front. It's a German movie. It's based on a book. It's been made into a movie before, so it's technically a remake. But Netflix produced it, and they made a new version out of it. And it's essentially about the young people who got put into the war, got drafted, and had to fight in the trenches in the First World War shortly before the Germans and the French signed the peace agreement. And that movie is heartbreakingly honest and raw and brutal, and just shows that humanity did not change a bit in 100 years. If you look at the Ukraine and Russia, and and it's I think it's one of the best, if not the best, anti-war movie out there. And I've seen most, like, also old ones, so that's a bold statement, but it's a fucking good movie.
Yeah. It also came to my mind, I didn't write down Black Phone. And that's another. The thing is, I felt like 2022 was a pretty solid horror movie year.
Yeah, I had some good.
We don't
movies.
often get so many good horror movies in one year, and I think that year really delivered. And Black Phone, there I have my issues with it, but I think overall it was really good. Ethan Hawke is brilliant. He was super creepy, and he played the role, I think, brilliantly. Some of the story I had a little bit of an issue with, but for the most of all, or overall, I think it was a great story and thrilling, and definitely worth a watch if you're a fan of thriller, horror, stuff like that. Definitely recommend.
Yeah, the movie is frustrating because there's some aspects of or to the story that are not great or not just
but you also
a little
have
sloppy.
to take horror movies with a grain of salt, because unfortunately that's the majority of the time. Most horror
Ethan
movies
Hawke
have
is so fucking
their
good
issues.
in the movie, and he fucking acts so brilliantly scary. But
Yeah, that's what I just said.
yeah, but the story, there are just some clanky things, and it just kind of destroys the vibe a little bit.
Oh, see, I don't think it destroyed it.
Yeah,
I don't think it destroyed the vibe because he carried the movie so well.
Yeah, it's still, there are some things to the whole. I don't know. It's fine. Series.
I feel like we're gonna have a lot of similar ones. I'm curious.
Yeah.
To
How
see.
many do you have? Because we can't do the same amount, because otherwise we talk for another hour.
We don't have to talk so long about them. I have quite a few.
Yeah. Then start.
Okay, I'm starting with Dahmer.
Yeah.
We actually don't need to go into it so much because we have a full episode talking about
you
that
should
series.
Listen to it if you haven't.
Fairly
Evan
recent
Peters
episode.
won the Golden Globe. Evan Peters won the Golden Globe.
Sure, he did. He's brilliant. So just the story of Jeffrey Dahmer, and it's more focuses on from the perspective of his victims more in the second half of the series, but very well done, very creepy, really good. Hard to watch, but well done.
Yeah, that's a good show, but hard to watch. You have not watched that one, but Severance was, to me, I think top 2 or top 3 episode series this year. It's an Apple TV Plus show, and it's with Adam Scott and from Ben Stiller. So he directed all the episodes. He didn't write it. He didn't come up with the story, but he brought the vision to life, and it's a fucking mind-boggling, creepy sci-fi version of The Office, kinda, but with a fucking great twist. Yeah, it's a great show.
Okay. I'm going to say Heartstopper is my next one. Heartstopper is probably my number one. If I had to pick a number one series of the year, it's
that was a great one.
It's officially, it's that. It's absolutely that. Coming of age story, coming out story, but done in a way that I feel like has not really been done yet and should have been done already. So I appreciated it. And it serves a place in my heart because it was kind of my push to come out myself as bisexual, and it kind of helped me reevaluate who I am, or rather acknowledge who I am, and yeah. So that's a high recommendation for me.
Okay. It's on Netflix. If you have not seen it, you can watch it on Netflix. I mean, the thing is, I have to say, because I really enjoyed it, and I know it's a very dicey topic for some people, but the Lord of the Rings show, the Rings of Power, I was very entertained and, I don't know, sucked into the world of it. I really enjoyed it. I know it's a setup season, and I'm very much looking forward to the next season, but I think it was one of the highlights, simply because I like the world of the Lord of the Rings so much, and coming back to it in such a cool and massive way was very cool. I liked it.
If you're looking for something funny to watch, but also are a fan of thriller horror things, Kristen Bell has a show called The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. It's on Netflix, and
Isn't it really bad?
No, it's great.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
It's funny in only the way that Kristen Bell can be funny. I think she's so brilliant, and it makes fun of all of the horror genre with all of that. I mean, you can just by the title you can tell.
Yeah,
but
it's like
it's a very predictable
show.
story if you watch movies like that or shows like that. But that's the point. It's making fun of it, and it's so well done and funny and wonderful. So that's a recommendation as well.
The Bear on, I think, FX and Disney Plus here in the German Austrian region. I watched it alone. You didn't watch it. It's a fucking amazing show about this guy who comes back from culinary school, or like he's a chef. He worked already at like high-end restaurants, and he comes back to this Chicago piece of shit family restaurant in the suburbs, and he needs to basically run it because his brother died, and he needs to, take it over and keep it up and running with his other brother. That's essentially the plot, and it's so fucking well done. There are so many layers to it, and I'm not a huge fan of like shows about cooking or like, chefs and stuff, or movies, but this one, kept me, I binged it. It's very good.
I binged a show called Archive 81, which unfortunately it doesn't look like is getting a second season.
Yeah.
It was also brilliant. Again, horror. What else would you expect from me? But kept me guessing the entire time. The twist completely threw me off. I had zero idea that that's where it was going. And also very scary. There were multiple moments where I was legitimately scared watching it. And it's very, very unfortunate that there's not a second season, because I gladly would have kept
It's Netflix.
watching.
They don't give a shit about if something's good. They only give a shit about does it make money? Does it draw viewers?
It's unfortunate that not enough people watched it. It's very good.
Yeah. Andor, the Star Wars series. You didn't watch it.
You don't have to say every time, I watched it alone, you didn't watch it.
No, but I want to, because then people know, why is she not saying anything? So that's just...
I mean, you don't say anything to my things.
Yeah, because I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
No, but Andor was, in my opinion, the best thing that Star Wars did in the last 10 years. So including the 3 new movies that came out in the last couple of years. That said, the story is so well done and written. It, like, the dialogues alone can be compared to like something like Game of Thrones. I have not watched it, but I've been told that. And yes, I have not watched Game of Thrones. Shame on me.
I haven't either.
Yeah, and it's a fucking amazing show. And I think the fact that you don't have to know Star Wars, that you don't need to know anything about the world, and you can watch it and still enjoy it, says so much about it, because it doesn't rely on anything, nostalgia, characters that you don't know already. It's just the whole, in itself, series is so fucking well done. I highly, highly recommend Andor on Disney Plus.
I would also recommend the show Uncoupled.
Not seen it.
I know you have not. That's Neil Patrick Harris, and plays a man.
Oh, yeah.
A man had his life turned upside down after his partner walks out on him after 17 years. And it's kind of like romantic comedy, but not really. It's more of a drama, and but based around just this man at his age. He's in his 50s now, and he's trying to figure out, like, what do I do now? You know, he wasn't expecting his partner to leave, and they've been together for so long, and so now it's kind of like a crisis of self. And it's a beautiful story. It's very well acted, and I think it was really, really nice. And I actually think they might do another season. I'm not positive on that, but
I have not heard anything about
it was very good.
That they cancel it. There are a bunch of other seasons or series, but should we end it with a bang? Or do you have more than...
Is your bang having to do with zombies?
No.
No?
What the fuck? No. The thing is, as I just said, there are a bunch of other series.
But the fact that one doesn't even get in your list is pretty
It is
incredible.
in my list, but it's already so long, that episode, so I kind of want to... Okay, let's just say it.
That would have been the one that I would have ended on.
That really? Okay, that's fine. Let's... Okay, say it. All of us
are dead. Yeah, it's a Korean... It's funny. It's on Google, written as a Korean drama, which I can kind of see.
I mean...
It's a horror zombie thriller show about high school students that get trapped in their high school because this virus breaks out and basically turns people into zombies.
Yeah.
And
it's a great show.
It's so good. I know there are people who are sick of the whole zombie thing, and I get it, but it's worth it. It's so well done, and it really is like you're watching it, and at some moments you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh. I don't know if this is supposed to be like you don't know what you're watching.
It is.
In the best way.
Comedic elements or moments in it.
Or like weird like soap opera moments. What is happening?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's Asian. It's very Korean. I love Korean.
It's very Korean
stuff,
soap opera,
so, yeah,
honestly. It's great.
No, the thing that I would have ended it, in that the fact that you would have not, shocks me. The White Lotus.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have ended it there.
Oida. That to me...
It was phenomenal.
Was not the best show, but the most entertaining show throughout the whole thing. I loved Ender, that kept me on the seat. I loved the bear. I loved all the things that I said, but The White Lotus, altogether just funny, well written, amazing characters. The music altogether was so fucking well done, and it won.
But technically, only season 2 was this last year.
Yeah, no, in this case, I'm just saying season 2. Yeah, sure, obviously. But yeah, it won Golden Globe, I think. And no, wait, did it? I don't know if the show itself did. I don't think so. But what's her name? Stifler's mom,
Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge. She won a Golden Globe,
as she deserves.
She deserves. And her speech, oh my God, it's so fucking good. That woman, almost best character in the show.
I think she's the best character in the show.
Yeah, that's it. It's a lengthy episode. Yeah. How much time do we have? What does it say? It's 43 seconds. 45, something like that. Okay.
Seconds.
Minutes. Okay. So for everybody who doesn't care about who we are or what we do, can turn off now. Please
watch out for deer.
Yeah, please like this podcast, subscribe, share the podcast, and if you want to head over to our Patreon and support us there, you can, and we would be very appreciative of that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And for everyone who's new here.
So now all the 2 people that are studying. No.
It was your idea to do it that way, so.
I know. Yeah. That's fine. The thing is, I think it's kind of needed, but I don't know if we should just, make a cut and then make a separate one.
No.
Okay.
We won't talk long.
We have 2 episodes. Our first 2 episodes, we're talking about our finding together, but it was more in the aspect of why do we start this podcast? How did we find each other? Like more the relationship aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah.
We talked about who we are, what we do a little bit, but I mean, a few things have changed maybe a little bit. Also, it's very lengthy, and I don't know.
And also, we were just starting with podcasting, and I'm sure I have not listened to the older episodes, but since we released them, but I'm sure it's very cringy to listen to because we had to cut so many times, which you maybe don't know listening to it, but we know listening to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, now we don't make any cuts and we just talk through, and we're more comfortable with the microphone, and yeah. But we started this podcast as Translating Love, and I'm from the US and Woifi's from Austria, and we live in Austria, and I've been here now for almost 6 years. And we started it as kind of a way to just communicate with each other better and have something to do together.
Yeah, but that's not what we should talk now.
I'm just giving a brief background. That's the whole point.
But we did that the other.
Who we are.
The other.
Yeah, but
like,
nobody wants to go listen to this old one.
No, like 5 episodes ago, something ago, we talked about why and how we do the podcast, like the whole aspect of the podcast. We talked exactly
yeah, I'm
about
giving
that.
like a 3-sentence.
No, talk about yourself.
thing.
Talk about yourself. Who are you? What are you doing?
You talk about yourself.
No,
if you're
it's a
gonna be so
question.
bossy.
No, I'm not bossy. Who are you? What are you doing?
This is what our podcast is. We fight on the podcast for the listeners'
Who are
enjoyment.
God damn it, woman!
Woifi tells me that I'm wrong, and then I get mad.
Yes, you are. Who are you and what are you doing?
I'm Danielle, and I'm sitting on the couch talking into a microphone. Who are you, and what are you doing?
Look, I'm showing you how to do it.
Thank you. Please mansplain it to me.
No, please go ahead. Who are you and what are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing in life?
Yes. Who are you? What are you doing?
I mean, I was saying that already. I said that I'm Danielle. I'm from the US. I was saying all of that, and you interrupted me and told me that I'm doing it wrong.
No, because you were like talking about the podcast. You should talk about yourself.
I was giving a brief why we started the
We're
podcast.
going to cut that all.
No, I just said we don't make cuts.
Okay. So I'm going to answer for you.
Do it.
This is Danielle.
No, do yourself.
Yeah, I am for you.
No, do you.
Oh, I'm I'm Wolfgang, whatever you want to call me. Woifi. Friends call me Woifi. And I'm from Austria.
I said that already for you.
And I still am in Austria. I'm stuck in Austria. I love it here. Don't get me wrong. And I am self-employed filmmaker, web designer, stuff like that, like digital media, creative shit. And yeah, as you probably know, we built our house, and I made a little bigger office space for myself, which is very nice and exciting because I have now a little more space to work and be creative and stuff. And yeah, and maybe something you don't know is that I try to at least
poop
do more.
3 times a day.
I do actually twice. But something you maybe do not know is that I also try to post more YouTube stuff. So if you want to see some stuff on my YouTube that is related to myself or something that I passionately make, not just work stuff, head over to my YouTube.
Indeed.
That's how you do it.
Everything that I started to say about myself were things that I had already said when you said I was doing it wrong. So.
Also, I love movies, if that was not clear.
He does.
And gaming.
Just not the same ones that I love.
That's not
and
true.
If I love them, I'm wrong.
No, that's not true. I have a different
I say
opinion
a movie and you're like,
about it.
no, that's bad. No, I don't like it. No, you're wrong. Your opinion's wrong.
I didn't say that about your opinion, goddammit.
You did. With
No,
one
I
of
did
them.
not.
Yeah, with one of them.
No.
I said it was a little fantasy, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
it's sci-fi.
Because
It's fantastical, so it's fantasy. There are fantasy elements. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm Dani, and I'm from the US, which I said like 20 times now.
she's 35 years old.
I am not 35 years old.
She's old.
I'm
saggy.
31, and I am a medical massage therapist. I speak 2 languages, German and English. I'm learning Spanish. I play the ukulele and I like to sing, and the urge to play the piano again is very strong. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. I like movies, I like reading, I like music. Like everybody in the world.
That's how you do it. That's how you introduce yourself.
Yeah, but no one cares about that. People care about why we're here. And
I know, but still, we are very open. We're very transparent.
We are very open.
And the thing is, you want to get to know the people you're listening to a little bit, and maybe some people, put on like episode 57 or something, and sure, you get to know each other. They know us a little bit, but maybe not our background or something.
Yeah. I feel like it's boring to just say like what I do for work and what.
Maybe
not because my job's boring.
That's
I
why
love
we
my
put
job.
it at the end of the episode. That was a good idea.
I love my job.
People are gone already, so we can end the episode now.
So no one's listening anyway.
Wait, we can do something now. If you're still listening, please, please
just don't give up on us because
text
of this
us
last
on
10
our
minutes.
Instagram at I'm Listening Podcast. Is it I'm Listening Podcast?
I think so.
No, it is at I'm Listening Podcast. Just message us. I was still here. Just I was still here.
Please, that would be lovely.
It's so funny if nobody sends us that.
Yes, I'm Listening Podcast.
At I'm Listening Podcast. I mean,
Just
it's in
send
the
us a message,
description.
I'm still here.
That would be funny. Okay. Other than that, that's it.
That's it. Wow.
You should have harmonized with me, goddamn.
Do it again.
Wow. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Watch out for deer.